So, welcome to the lecture series on non-linear programming. So, what non-linear programming are and why they are important, this we will see in this course. You see that whenever we solve any engineering or science problem, we frequently encounter various optimization problems which may be non-linear in nature. So, in this course we will see that what basically non-linear problems are and how to solve such problems. Okay. So, the first lecture is on convex sets and functions. Now, first what is OR? Non-linear programming is a part of operation research. So, what is OR? First we will see this. OR or operation research is a scientific method of providing executive department with a quantitative basis for decisions regarding the operations under their control. Or by Wikipedia, it is a discipline that deals with the application of advanced analytical methods to help make better decisions. So, OR is a basically part of the mathematics by which we can take better decisions. Now, what is an optimization problem? You see that in optimization problem we have two components, an objective function, a function which we have to maximize or minimize, subject to some constraints which we say set constraint set. So, like here we have a problem P which is minimization type, minimization of fx subject to conditions are x belongs to C, where f is a function from Rn to R and C is a subset of Rn. Now, this problem we are calling this problem as an optimization problem because here we have to minimize a function f, okay, subject to conditions that x belongs to some set C. So, this function f here which we have to minimize is called objective function and the set C is called set of constraints or constraint set. Now, this problem is also called basic mathematical programming problem. Okay. The function f is called objective function and the set C is called the constraint set or the feasible set. Now, any point x bar which belongs to C, C means the constraint set which belongs to C, we are calling that point as feasible point or feasible solution, okay, and the collection of all the feasible solution we are calling as feasible set or C. If C equal to phi, phi means C is empty, so then the problem is called infeasible. Infeasible means no solution, problem has no solution. Okay. Now, if C equal to Rn, suppose C is the entire n dimensional Euclidean space, C equal to Rn, then the problem P is called unconstrained optimization problem. And there is no constraint, that is we have to minimize this function over whole Rn. Okay. Otherwise, we call it constraint optimization problem. If C is a proper subset of Rn, then we call this problem as constraint optimization problem. Now, let us consider this problem. What this problem is? This problem is minimize fx subject to gjx less than equal to 0 and j equal to 1 to m. Okay. Now, here in this problem this function f is to minimize. So, this function we are calling as objective function and what are the constraints? Gj less than equal to 0 are the constraints. How many constraints? M number of constraints. So, here we have to minimize this function f subject to m number of constraints which are Gj less than equal to 0. Okay. Now, this optimization problem can be broadly classified into two categories. First is linear programming problems and second is non-linear programming problems. What are linear programming problems? If objective function, the function which we have to minimize or maximize is linear, okay, and all constraints are linear. So, such problem are called linear programming problems and otherwise we call it non-linear programming problem. So, this is in this slide. If objective function and all the constraint Gj are linear, then the problem MP is called linear programming problem, which mathematically can be expressed in this form, and if MP is not linear, then we call as non-linear programming problem. Like LPP, like example of LPP is something, suppose we have to minimize this function, minimize z equal to say 2x1 plus 3x2 minus x3, subject to suppose it is 3x1 plus 2x2 plus x3 less than equals to 4, and x1 minus x2 plus 4x3 greater than equals to 2, and x1, x2, x3 non-negative. So, this is a LPP. This is basically a linear programming problem. Okay. Now, in this LPP, this can be rewritten as 2, 3, minus 1, and this can be written as x1, x2, x3. These constraints can be written as 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. This can be written as 1, minus 1, 4, 1, minus 1, 4, and it is x1, x2, x3. It is less than equal, okay, one is less than, other is greater. So, you first multiply this by minus 1, okay, to make it less than equal to. So, all the constraints, all the sign will change, and it is less than or equal to 4 and minus 2, and x1, x2, x3 non-negative. So basically in this formulation, if you compare with this formulation, so this is C transpose and this is X, this is a matrix A of order 2 cross 3, this is X less than equal to B, this is a vector B, and this X greater than equal to 0. Okay. So, we can always express any linear programming problem in this way, that is minimizing C transpose X subject to Ax less than equal to B and X greater than equal to 0. Okay. Now, if the objective function or at least one of the constraint is non-linear, then such problems are called non-linear programming problems. Now, there is a particular case of non-linear programming problem which is quadratic programming problem. If the objective function, that is f(x), is of degree 2, that is quadratic, and all constraints are linear, then such problems are called quadratic programming problems. We will discuss about quadratic programming problems in further lectures. So, next is convex set. Now, a set S is called convex if the line segment joining any 2 points of S is in S. So, first, what does it mean? Suppose you have 2 points x1 and x2. So, this is a line segment joining x1 and x2. Now, you take any arbitrary point x in between x1 and x2. Suppose this point, divide this line segment in the ratio, suppose 1 minus lambda and lambda. Now, you want this point x in between x1 and x2. Therefore, these ratios 1 minus lambda and lambda must be non-negative. That means, lambda should lie between 1 and 0. Okay. So, now what will be x? So, x will be nothing but lambda x1 plus 1 minus lambda x2. It is lambda x1 plus 1 minus lambda x2. So, this will be x. Now, now for the convex set, suppose we have a region inside the circle. We take any 2 arbitrary point in this set. Suppose these are the 2 arbitrary points. The line segment joining these 2 points must be inside the set. That means, you take any arbitrary point on the line segment joining these 2 points. For any lambda between 0 and 1, the point x, which is lambda x1 plus 1 minus lambda x2, must be in S. You take any 2 point here, you take 2 point here, join the line segment. The line segment must be in this set itself. You take 2 point here, join the line segment. The line segment joining these 2 point must be inside this region. You take any 2 point here. So, line segment joining these 2 point must be inside this region. That means for all x1 x2 in S and lambda between 0 and 1, the lambda x1 plus 1 minus lambda x2 must be in S for all x1 x2 in S. Okay. So, if this result hold for all x1 x2 in S, lambda between 0 and 1, this means the set is convex. Okay. Now, this sometimes we call it convex linear combination of x1 and x2. So, sometimes we call it convex linear combination of x1 and x2. So, we can also define convex set like this. Okay, take any 2 arbitrary point in S, the convex linear combination of points must be in S. If this property holds, then we say that set is convex. Like we have 2 pictures here. In the first picture, if you take any 2 arbitrary point in the S and join the line segment, the line segment is totally contained in the green portion of the set. Okay. Now, if you take the second example, in the second example, if you take these 2 points x and y, the line segment joining these 2 points is not totally inside the set. So, this is not convex. Okay. Now, we have some properties of convex set. The first property is intersection of any collection of convex sets is always convex. The proof is very simple. Let us see. So, we have to show that the intersection of any collection of convex set is convex. So, this we have to show, this to prove. Okay. And it is given to us that all CIs are convex. So, whenever we have to show that a set is convex, take any 2 arbitrary point in that set and try to show that the convex linear combination of those 2 points is in S. Okay. And suppose you want to show that a set is not convex. So, try to show a counter example, try to show that there are some point, there exists a point x1 x2 and some lambda between 0 and 1 such that the convex linear combination of those 2 points is not in S. So, that means S is not convex. Okay. So, here we have to show that this is convex. So, take any 2 arbitrary point in this set. Okay. Now, this implies x1 x2 belongs to Ci for all I. Okay. And now, you take x as convex linear combination of these 2 points for lambda between 0 and 1. And since Ci for all I are convex, so this implies x belongs to Ci for all I, because Ci's are convex for all I and x is nothing but convex linear combination of x1 and x2. So, this x will be in Ci for all I, and if it is in Ci for all I, this means x will be in intersection also. So, that means this intersection of Ci is a convex set, because what we have shown? We have shown that the convex linear combination of any 2 arbitrary point of the set, any 2 arbitrary point in the set is in S, is in the set. So, that means set is convex. Okay. Now, the second property is the vector sum C1 plus C2 of 2 convex sets C1 and C2 is also convex. So, the proof is again simple. Let us see. So, you take any two arbitrary points, say x1 and x2 in C1 plus C2. So, we have to show that this set is convex. So, we have to prove that the convex linear combination of x1 and x2 is in C1 plus C2. So, let this holds. So, this implies since x1 is in C1 plus C2, this means there exist some x1 dash and x1 double dash in C1 and x2 dash and x2 double dash in C2, such that x1 will be equals to x1 dash plus x2 dash and x2 will be equals to x1 double dash plus x2 double dash. Okay, because these are in C1 plus C2. So, that means x1 can be expressed as some element of C1 plus some element of C2. Similarly for x2. Now, you take convex linear combination of these 2 points for lambda between 0 and 1. So, this is nothing but lambda times x1 dash plus x2 double dash x2 dash plus 1 minus lambda x1 double dash plus x2 double dash, and this is equals to lambda x1 dash plus 1 minus lambda x1 double dash plus lambda x2 dash plus 1 minus lambda x2 double dash. Now, this element is a convex linear combination of 2 points in C1, and it is given to us that C1 is a convex set. So, this will belongs to C1. Again, this x2 dash and x2 double dash are in C2, and C2 is a convex set. So, this point will be in C2. So, this point is in C1, this point is in C2. So, this will belongs to C1 plus C2. So, that means this x belongs to C1 plus C2, and x is nothing but convex linear combination of these 2 points. So, this implies C1 plus C2 is a convex set. Okay, is a convex set. So, in this way we can show that sum of 2 convex set is also convex. Now, the next is the third property, that alpha times C is also convex for any convex set C and for a scalar alpha. So, this also can be proved very easily. You take 2 arbitrary points in alpha C, let x1 and x2 belongs to alpha times C. This implies there exist some x1 dash and x2 dash such that x1 is equals to alpha x1 dash and x2 is equals to alpha x2 dash. Now, take convex linear combination of these 2 points where lambda belongs to 0 and 1. Okay. Take convex linear combination of these 2 points, and we have to show that this x belongs to alpha times C. Okay. Now, this is nothing but alpha times alpha x1 dash plus 1 minus lambda alpha x2 dash, and this is alpha times lambda x1 dash plus 1 minus lambda x2 dash, and this belongs to alpha C. Why this belongs to alpha C? Because these are the points in C. These are the point belongs to C. Okay. These are the point belongs to C, and C is a convex set. So, this belongs to C. So, alpha times C, that means alpha C is also a convex set. Okay. So, now we have convex function. What convex functions are? So, let S be a subset of Rn, be a convex set, okay, and a function f from S to R is said to be convex over S if this condition hold for all x1 s2 in S, lambda between 0 and 1. Okay. So, what does it mean? Let us see. So, this definition means f of lambda x1 plus 1 minus lambda x2 is less than equals to lambda fx1 plus 1 minus lambda fx2, and for all x1 x2 in S and lambda between 0 and 1. Okay. So here S is a convex set. Okay. So if f of convex linear combination of any 2 point of S is less than or equals to lambda fx1 plus 1 minus lambda fx2, then we say that the function f is a convex function. So what is the geometrical interpretation of this definition? Let us see. Okay, let us see the geometrical interpretation of this definition. Now suppose we have a function of this type. Okay, suppose this is a point x1 and this is some point x2. Okay, any arbitrary point. This is S. Okay, this is S. Suppose this is S. Now this point, this is a function y equals to fx. So this point will be nothing but x1 comma fx1, and this point is nothing but x2 comma fx2. Now join the chord of joining these 2 points. Now take any x in between x1 and x2. That is this x is the convex linear combination of these 2 points. So this will be nothing but lambda x1 plus 1 minus lambda x2 for lambda between 0 and 1. So this ratio will be nothing but 1 minus lambda and lambda. Now you join this chord here. So this point will be nothing but x comma fx. Okay, what is fx? F of lambda x1 plus 1 minus lambda x2. And what this point will be? The same ratio will be here, 1 minus lambda and lambda, because these 3 lines are parallel. So whatever ratio we are having here, the same ratio will be here. So what will be the coordinates of this point? This point will be nothing but x comma and x comma, it is lambda fx1 plus 1 minus lambda fx2. So if we are calling as point A, it is B, it is C. So AC is AB is always less than or equals to AC. Clear? Because this height is less than or equal to this height, and this is nothing but fx. So fx, f of x is less than or equals to, and AC is nothing but this height, which is lambda fx1 plus 1 minus lambda fx2, this height. So it is lambda fx1 plus 1 minus lambda fx2. And what is x? X is lambda x1 plus 1 minus lambda x2. So this height is always less than or equal to this height. So what does it mean? That if a function is convex, then you take any 2 arbitrary point on the curve, join the chord. The chord joining those 2 points always lies above or on the curve, above or on the curve. Okay. That means suppose we have this function, suppose you have fx equal to x square, f is from R to R. Okay, f is from R to R and fx equal to x square. Now what is the graph of this function? Graph is this, something like this. Okay. Now you take any 2 arbitrary point on the curve, any 2 arbitrary point, join the chord. The chord joining these 2 points always lies above the curve. Okay. You take 2 arbitrary points here, join the chord. The chord joining those 2 points always lies above the curve. You take 2 points here. So if the function is convex, so we can say that the function x square is a convex function. Okay, function x square is a convex function. Now you take a function like this. Suppose you take a function like this, a boat shape function. You take two arbitrary points here, join the chord. The chord joining those 2 points always lies above the curve. You take 2 points here, join the chord. The chord joining these 2 points lies above the curve. Now you take 2 points here, the chord joining these 2 points lies on the curve. Then the chord joining these 2 points, any 2 points on this curve, either lies above the curve or on the curve. So this means that the function is a convex function. So so these functions are convex. Now if the inequality is reversed, if this inequality is reversed, that is we have greater than equal to, then the function is called concave function. That means a function is concave, a function f is concave if and only if negative of f is convex. Okay. So how we can interpret it geometrically? Geometrically for a concave function we can say that take any 2 arbitrary point on the curve, so join the chord. The chord joining those 2 points always lies below or on the curve. That means this is a geometric interpretation of the concave function on the similar lines. Here are some examples. X square is a convex function which you have already seen. This is x square, it is a convex function because if you take any 2 arbitrary point, join the chord. The chord joining these 2 points always lies above or on the curve. Mod x is also a convex function because when you plot mod x, so mod x is something like this. You take any 2 arbitrary point on the curve, the chord joining those 2 points always lies above the curve. Okay. You take 2 points here, it is on the curve. So the chord joining any 2 point on the any 2 point lies either lies above the curve or on the curve. So that means it is a convex function. E raised to power x is again a convex function that you can easily see graphically. If you draw the graph of e raised to power x, so this is the e raised to power x. So when you take any 2 arbitrary point on the curve, the chord joining those 2 points always lies above the curve. Okay. In fact, a line segment joining those 2 points lies above the curve. So that means it is a convex function. Negative x square is of course concave function because its negative, which is x square, is convex. Ln x is also a concave function. We can easily see graphically. When you draw the graph of ln x is something like this. Okay. This is one, something like this. So when you take any 2 point, the chord joining those 2 points lies below the curve. So it is a concave function. Now linear function 2x plus 3 is both convex and concave. We can easily see because equality holds. And the function x cube is neither convex nor concave. Okay, that we can visualize geometrically also. Suppose you have sin x. Sin x is something like this. Okay. Now when you take 2 points here, so the chord joining these 2 points lies below the curve and here it is above the curve. So it is neither convex nor concave because in some portion the chord is below the curve and in some portion chord is above the curve. So the such functions are neither convex nor concave. Okay. What convex set and convex functions are, that we have seen in this lectures, rest we will discuss in the next lectures. Thank you.